Bonjour! Bonjour!
No.
Time for bladder check. Check.
So it's a show?
It's a lifestyle.
It's a religion.
My emotions! My emotions!
I'm still French.
Ouais, c'est pas faux.
I'm a woman, Mary. I can be as contrary as I choose.
Non, moi je crois qu'il faut que vous arrêtiez d'essayer de dire des trucs.
Hello, hi, I'm Laura. I'm gonna watch one episode of the Twilight Zone. Today I'm gonna watch the episode 30 of the season 1, but I warned you into the intro of the first episode that I reacted to for this show. I'm not gonna react to all of this episode, to all of the episodes of the show. I'm not gonna react to it into the right order. It's really a project, that I want to do on my channel, to react to some episodes just like that, to just check, that popular, that cult show that everyone takes as references, for so many stuff. And I saw already with the first episode that I watched today, the episode 22, which was The Monsters Are Due on Maple Street. I just watched it. If you want to see my reaction video about it, I'm gonna put the link. I saw with this episode that, yes, I could find a lot of references about it. I saw also how these episodes are gonna function. The fact that we have a narrator to put the context and at the end to give the moral message of the episode. But as I said in my review of the last episode of that episode, in fact we have several messages that we can take out of it, and also something which is interesting to analyze for me, the fact that I found a lot of modern references. I thought of The War of the Worlds, the movie, but also the book. Which one came first for what references, but also it made me think of Battlestar Galactica, but also to other shows, sci-fi shows, including old ones like Star Trek, for the fact that aliens, they can look human. I was wondering who had that idea first, and I didn't have the response of it, but I think that it's fun and interesting, the fact that an old show can talk to me like that, can make me think about so many references, and the fact that sci-fi things in general that are responding to each other, with these references, with these different ideas, and who created it first. At the end, it's not that important. The fact that they're using it, it's interesting, how they're using it. And right there for this episode that I watched, the fact that they used it into a regular US, neighborhood during that period of time, and the fact that they used these things, these sci-fi things, to create an atmosphere of tension between these neighbors who were afraid of each other, who did extreme stuff because of it, and the fact that it's, a way to denounce people gossiping about each other, and people who can believe into the craziest thing, the craziest explanation that they can find when they are afraid, because it's fitting more with their fears during that moment, and the fact that other people can take advantage of it. Rather it was aliens, but it could have been something else. Like, really, you can find a lot of different messages, moral stuff, to take out of this episode. It was fun to watch, it was fun to analyze, so I'm pretty excited to watch this new episode. It's gonna be this episode 30, which is named A Stop at Willoughby. I just know that it's a story of a businessman who is stopping, with making a break or something like that into that town. Something like that is the only thing, that I read about it. Again, if you are wondering, I'm not gonna react to all of the episodes, I'm gonna react only to some of them, not into the right order, maybe it's gonna be one from season 1, one from season 2, come back to season 1, then go to season 4, then go to season 2, then go to season 1, like really, it's gonna be something like that. I just noted, the most popular episodes on IMDB. I noted 42 episodes. If you have a favorite episode that you want me to watch for sure, put that on the comment. Maybe it's already on my list, but I'm gonna react to it sooner, if you're telling me which favorite episode you have. And I'm not even sure that I'm gonna react to these 42 episodes. I just know that I can pick into that list as I want. Today I'm gonna watch 3 episodes from the season 1. I already watched the episode 22. I'm gonna watch right now the episode 30, and after that, I don't know, one from season 1 that I have on my list. And that's it. I'm just excited, to have that project. I hope that you're gonna be excited, interested also. Maybe you already know this show, maybe you're gonna discover it with me, I don't know, but for now, that first episode, I appreciated a lot to discover it. I have a lot of things to think about, so it's cool. Let's go for this one. If you want, like always, remember that you have my Patreon, on which you're gonna have extended or full reaction parts for this episode. I can't know that in advance, so check the description. I don't know also when you're gonna have these reaction videos for Twilight Zone. I'm not even sure that it's gonna work with YouTube. Wish me luck for that. But I don't know yet when you're gonna have them or not. You understood that really I'm gonna react to some episodes like that. Each time I'm gonna announce you that on the schedule that I post each Monday on YouTube, Patreon and Twitter. But it's really gonna be something like that coming from nowhere, like on my schedule. And yes, on my Patreon, extended or full action part, and if you want to support me, it's the best way, Patreon. That's why also I created it. Let's go for this episode. It's so cool, really. I'm excited to have this project, to watch this episode, to watch something new, totally different, than usually. I'm just excited to be able to offer you that. Again, I hope so much that YouTube is gonna be fair with me. April 85, if you're wondering.
Williams, we're still waiting for your Mr. Ross. I'm trying to get him right now, sir. Well, where is your protege with the $3 million automobile account? He's due at any moment, Mr. Misro.
Protege?
He was too young to put on this account. I told you that, Williams. I kept telling you that. He's much too young to put on this large and important account.
Your finance guys, or publicists?
This is Jake Ross's resignation. He's moving over to another agency.
Ah.
And he's taking the automobile account with him. That account represented a gross billing of something in the neighborhood of $3 million a year. Don't sit down. And don't con me, Williams. It was your pet project. It was your idea to give it to that little college greenie. Now get with it, Williams.
All of them, they have their heads like that, like, I don't want to be involved.
This is a push business, Williams. A push business. Push and drive.
You're gonna have an heart attack if you're continuing to scream like that, you.
You should know it better than anyone else. A push business, Williams.
He's talking only like that, on one part of his mouth.
Right on down the line. Right, boy? Why don't you shut your mouth?
Oi. Oh, et toi tu vas te faire un ulcère.
This is Garth Williams, age 38. A man protected by a suit of armor, all held together by one bolt. He's been cannonaded this afternoon by all the enemies of his life. His insecurity has shelled him. Mr. Garth Williams, ad agency exec, who in just a moment will move into the Twilight Zone in a desperate search for survival.
He lost everything, for sure. You didn't go out when you should have? Oof. The countryside, but how long ago,
Willoughby. This stop is Willoughby. There's no stop on this line called Willoughby. And look at it outside. The sun is out. It's summer. That's what she is. Mid-July. A real warm one.
You went to another
Where is
dimension?
Willoughby? Willoughby, sir? That's Willoughby right outside.
Ah!
Willoughby. It's 1888.
Willoughby.
Willoughby. Stop is Willoughby.
It's a funny name. Willoughby, Willoughby, Willoughby. Ah, you're back into your trip.
idiotic dream.
I thought that this episode would be about your dream, you know, and maybe you would wake up at the end. Oh, it's different construction, you know, than I thought. Okay.
Westport, Saugatuck, next stop. Westport,
It's less easy, you know,
And what are your plans for this evening?
to drink a lot.
Get quietly plastered and then sing old Celtic songs? I know all about it. Bob Blair's wife called me. She told me he'd been in the meeting with you. Did you wreck a career this afternoon? Did you throw away a job?
There is not.
Can you ask him why? Can you be a little supportive? I don't know your background, but...
The somewhat obese, gracious gentleman will allow me to continue in his employ because he's such a human type fella. Oh, I'm tired, Janie. I'm tired. I'm sick.
I'm sick, and I'm tired of a husband who lives in a kind of permanent self-pity. A husband with a heart, bleeding sensitivity.
It's a competition, like...
People aren't built for competition, Janie. Or big pretentious houses they can't afford.
And you would prefer?
I would prefer, though never asked before, a job. Any job at all where I could be myself.
Okay, making a job because you appreciate it or because of money. That's gonna be the subject of this episode.
Trying to make me that person, but that isn't me at all.
Very uncompetitive, rather dull, quite uninspired, average type guy.
And I agree, you don't have to be competitive about everything in your life.
And just where would you be if it weren't for my appetite?
I know where I'd like to be.
Willoughby.
A place called Willoughby.
Mm.
Little town I manufactured in a dream. It was summer, very warm. Kids were barefooted. When I'm at a fishing pool, I've never seen such serenity.
It looked fake, really fake, you know.
You know what the trouble with you is, Gert? You were just born too late. So it's my mistake, pal. My era. My miserable, tragic era. To get married to a man whose big dream in life is to be Huckleberry Finn.
Who wants a simple life into a simple town?
Place, time, where a man can live his life full measure. That's what he said.
Stanford!
You're gonna dream about it again because you want to this time.
Willoughby, stop it, Willoughby.
And the fact, you know, that it's a man going to his work that he doesn't like, making that dream,
Yes, sir.
it says stuff also about
Willoughby.
that kind of life. Work, train, sleep, work, train, sleep. Can you... Ah, you can't.
Conductor.
You're stuck into the train. Almost, you know, like when you run into a dream
Next time I'm going to get off.
and you can't really come to the point. Push, push, push. No. Push, push, push. Again, you're taking medics.
I'll do the best I can. Do more than you can. Aspire. Dream big and then get behind it.
Ah, push, 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 push. The competitive thing. Oh, I would hate your life.
They what? Hold on just a second. Helen,
Mr. Misrell would like to see you.
I'll have to check it out for you here.
Mr. Misrell said... Miss Williams!
Oh, I would tell you to shut up.
Push, 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 Williams. Push, 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 Williams. Push, 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 Williams.
No bad idea. 7 years of bad luck. Oh, and your stomach again.
Janie, disregard, honey. I'm coming home. Will you stay there? I've had it. Understand? I've had it. I just can't take this another day, not another hour. Janie, will you help me, please? Will you
You're
please
making
help
me so sad. I will talk in review why it made me so sad suddenly. The fact that you know you just want to give up on your job because it's making you so sad, I can understand the feeling. But the fact that finding some comfort into your dreams, that's something, you know, that's depression. Can you get off the train? This time you're not taking it with you. Oh, you can.
Mr. Williams? Hi, boys.
Beautiful Dreamer, the song.
Hi, Mr. Williams. Welcome. Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Of course you are. You're in depression in your real life. And this is your dream life. Like really something that someone in depression would do. Oh, yeah.
Just jumped off the train, did he? Shouted something about Willoughby, then ran out to the platform, and that was the last I saw him.
Like he killed himself? Oh, you were truly into a depression. I'm not gonna be like, oh, we can all feel glad at least he is happy into his dream world. No, he's dead. That was a depressive scene.
Willoughby,
The funeral, oh!
Williams, who climbed on a world that went by too fast. It's a place around the bend where he could jump off. Whatever it is, it comes with sunlight and serenity, and is a part of the Twilight Zone.
Ooh. You can think that it was an hard episode, like it's rough. The conclusion of it is so rough. You could tell me that the last episode that I watched, the first episode in fact that I watched about Maple Street, it was rough also, like people killing each other because they are afraid and they are doing crazy stuff because of aliens manipulating them. Again, I was more thinking about the moral messages, that the writers were putting into it. Right there, they didn't use any sci-fi thing, on the contrary of Maple Street episode. If you're not considering, that this village, Willoughby, it was a sci-fi thing, the fact that you could have imagined that it was another dimension or something like that. But the end confirmed the feeling that I had, the fact that it was not another dimension, the fact that it was truly a man in depression who found some comfort into his dreams. Like truly, that's something that you're doing when you're into a depression and when you hate your life. And the fact that when he jumped out of the train for him to join Willoughby, to join his dreamed life, in fact he killed himself, he stopped his real life. Do you understand what I mean? Like to stop your real life that you hated, to join your dream life, the only one that you want. It makes sense, it makes a lot of sense. I think that this episode, is really great. You have to show it to people in general, but maybe not to people who hate right now their jobs. I'm sure that they're gonna go on depression, watching this episode, watching this story. They're gonna be like, okay, I'm like him, so what do I have to do now? To kill myself? No, the answer is not that. The answer is the fact that that guy, he hated that job, that life so much that physically it hurt him, all of that thing about his stomach, the medics that he was taking. And it's the case also when you're into a depression, the first signals, sometimes it's your body which is sending you these signals, that something is wrong. He was really feeling bad into this job, doing this stuff. He had that moment, when he went like that on his boss, being so angry, and no one believed that it was all, like they pushed him to continue. I'm saying his boss, I'm saying his wife, they pushed him to continue. They said that he was like that only because he was lazy in a way, because he was a coward and stuff like that, when him, the only thing that he was saying is the fact that he didn't like his life, he didn't like what he was doing, and he just wanted a normal life. But then that's not what they wanted, but also what they wanted for him to do. And after that, to have him, breaking again and trying to find some comfort in his wife, saying, I'm gonna come home, that's it, I have enough, are you gonna be there and all, and his wife is not supporting him at all. It made me sad during this moment because I think that I never told you. I had a period in my life where I had a job that I appreciated, but in conditions that were rough, and to not say rough, like just how can I say that? With polite words, my conditions of work were awful, were not acceptable by anyone, but me, I accepted them during a long time because I was young, because it was one of my first jobs and I thought that it was supposed to be like that. I didn't know that it was not normal. And it's only, you know, when I understood that it was not normal, all of what I lived during 2 entire years, that my body sent me the first signals and told me to stop. And after that, I wanted to stop. I just knew, I didn't know during that time why I needed to stop. I just had that feeling, that instinct of survival, you know, like it needs to stop, I need to stop, something bad is gonna happen if I don't stop. I didn't have any suicidal ideas, not at all, but my body was blocking me a lot, like I had several issues, health issues during that period of time, and also, you know, really like my brain froze and I just knew that I needed to stop. And I'm telling you all of that because I did what that guy did. I called the person that I thought who would support me the most with that. I called my dad and I told him, I don't know what is happening, I don't know why, I just know that I need to stop. Like, it's not possible, I don't know why, because during that time I didn't fully realize that all of what I lived with that work was awful and was not normal. But I just knew that I needed to stop. So to see him feeling that urge of stopping his job because he felt that it was hurting him, you know, himself, and that he just wanted to stop, and that was not normal for him to be there, and he didn't want that life, he didn't want that job, he didn't want that thing, and even without explaining it clearly, explaining that he wanted something more normal, more simple, that's also something that I felt during that time. But the fact that his wife didn't support him, it made me really sad, because I thought, you know, if I didn't have my family when I called them, you know, telling me, that's okay, listen to yourself, that's gonna be okay, maybe at some point you're gonna go back to your job, but if right now you feel that urge, you know, of stopping things, do it. I'm glad that I have people supporting me, really, truly. And supporting people, it's not pushing them like that, like what the boss was doing, like what his wife was doing. You know, that thing about pushing, that competitive thing, the fact that you have to have the biggest house, you have to have the biggest thing, you have to have more money. It's really something which is not for me. Like, I mean, that way of thinking, I'm okay with my life, I don't want another life, I don't want an extraordinary life, you know, or something like that. It could be great to have more money, because really, right now, so it could be great, but I don't want that amount of money, and I know myself enough now with that experience on my last job that I'm not gonna accept things, you know, into a job just because of that, just because of money or stuff like that. Like, I know now my limits, and I know also that people can support me with that. Support me, not push me. That was a good episode, a good story. Maybe I need to stop to say good episode and stuff like that. It's really stories after stories. That was a good story. But again, if you're into a depression, I don't think that you should watch it. It's not gonna encourage you to feel better, like, not like that. It's gonna remind you what you're living. Me, I lived that, so that I can watch that. This story, it's okay, but people who are still into depression, I'm not sure that it's great for them to watch an episode like that. That little reveal at the end, that was great, you know. I mean, the reveal about the fact that he jumped off the train truly in real life to join his dreamed life. That was interesting and a big reveal, but also the fact that this funeral business, you know, taking him, it's Willoughby and son. That's a nice wink, you know. That's well done, you know. That's clever to write it like that. Like the fact that he can't jump before that out of the train. The fact that at first he was taking with him his business things, and not at the end, like he's giving up on that. He's giving up on his job for good at the end. It's really clever, you know, how it's written. It's great. Okay, I'm gonna watch one more episode today. For you, it's gonna be on another video. So it's all for you for today, and it's all for me for now. So bye for now. Bye.
Wait a minute, Doc. Are you telling me that you built a time machine?
Hey.